Hello guys, my name is Simon and welcome to another video on ALS Software Engineering Program. Today we'll be looking at the project 0x03 Git project. For this project, we'll be covering some topic, which is the difference between Git and GitHub, what is Git, what is GitHub, and how to create a repository. We'll also look at some basic operations, how to create branch and how to merge branch. Alright, so first of all, what is the difference between Git and GitHub? So I just did a little Google search and you can see it says Git is a version control system that lets you manage and track and keep track of your source code history. And GitHub is a cloud-based hosting services that lets you manage Git repository. There are different cloud-based services, right? Here is what GitHub, and this is what ALS has recommended for this project. Not for this project only, but for this whole program. There's another one called GitLab, which is also good, and there is another one called Bitbucket. One thing I want you to know is you can push your code to GitHub, GitLab, and Bitbucket. They all use the same pattern, right? And you can even push your code simultaneously to Bitbucket, GitLab, and GitHub. It all works. All you need to do is to set what the origin. So if you are using Linux like mine, I already have Git installed by default. All I need to do is to type the command git and press enter. You can see it brings out more information of what I can do with Git. See, I can do Git clone, I can do Git init, I can do Git add, and so many. If you also have macOS, you also have Git installed by default. If you have Windows, which I'm not sure if you already have Git installed by default, so you can just do a little Google search on how to install Git on your computer. So let us look at some basic examples. Right, so let me create a directory. For this directory, I'm going to call it what? Example, and navigate into that folder. You can see the folder is empty. So the first thing I want to do is to create a file. Right, so I will just create a file, and in this file I will call it simpletext.txt. So if you check, you can see the file now exists. Okay, so I want you to take note that this Git has not been initialized in this project. So to initialize Git, all you need to do is to type in the command git what init. So this will initialize Git and we start keeping tracks of every file in this folder. So I'm going to press enter. And you can see it says using master as the name of the initial branch. This is what the default name. So now if I do git status, you can see it telling me that on track file, use git add file to include in what will be committed. So it's asking me to do what? Git add what to include in the committed file. So if I do git add simple underscore test.txt, then I go back and run my git status, you can see the color of the test. Before it was added to commit, it was showing red color. Now it's now showing what? Green color, and it's also pointing out that this is what? A new file. So now come the big question: how do I get this folder to the cloud? To get this folder to the cloud, or to get this project to the cloud, all you need to do is to create a repository. And to do that, if you don't have account, make sure you create your account on GitHub, and under your profile you can click on your profile and you will see your repositories. Click on this and it's going to take you to your repository section. So you want to create what? A new repository. To create a new repository, all you need to do is to click on this new button. So ensure you click on this new button. So I'm going to click on that, and you can see it's asking me some information, and it says the name of the repository and the description. Okay, you also take note of this, either it should be public or what? Private. So I'm going to call the name of my repository example repo. Okay, so example repo already exists. So let me use another name, example rep, or it should just be just example. Okay, so I'm going to write my description. So ELX example repo. So now it's asking me to choose. So by default it is for public, and you can see the text here. It says anyone on the internet can see your repository. You choose what you can commit. On the private, you see you choose who can see and commit to this repository. So I'm going to leave it public, and I'm going to scroll down. There's this button here which is create repository. This button. So what I will do here is to click on this button. Click on it, and in a few seconds you can see if my repository has been created successfully. So now the system is asking me to do some basic steps to add my file to Git repository. So if you remember, we run this command git init, right? So this is to initialize the Git repository. Look at the heading. It says quick setup. If you've done this kind of thing before, you can just copy this and run it. But however, or create a new repository on the command line, right? So you can remember we run this command. I was able to use git add the file that I created here. So you can remember some few minutes ago I run this command git init. You can see they are the same. Then I also run git add. I created a file called simple_test.txt, and I run the command git add. So you can see their own here, right? They are also running that command. You can see here they are running the command here. Okay, and I am also running that command here too. So git add. Then what we've not done is to commit our file. Okay, so to commit our file, we need to run the command. So git commit -m. The -m is a message you want to write. So it's like what you've done so far, you want to put it there. So what I will do is added a new file, simple_test. Okay, so I'm going to commit. Now this command here, right? There's this command here. So it's saying I should select my default branch. I'm not going to do that because I already have my default branch, although I can still change it to main, but I just prefer to leave it at what? Master. So master is my what? Default branch. So the next thing, we want to add an origin, which means which cloud repository is our origin. So we want to set that now. So if you look at the address, it's saying http://github, my username and the repo. So I'm going to copy this, copy, and paste it on my terminal. So this command is to set the remote origin. So if I press enter, and the next thing I will do is to push to cloud. So to push to cloud, I can do git push. But if I do git push, it's going to ask me for the origin. See it in action. So it says git push set upstream origin master. So I need to set what? The origin of this git. So to do that, right? So I'm going to do git push, right? So the origin, right? The branch I want to push, git push, I can do origin master. So I am pushing it to this branch called what? Master. But I want to make master my default push, so that next time if I run this command git push, it should just push it straight to the master branch. That is where the -u flag come to play. So I can do git push -u origin master, which is my default branch. So if I press enter, it's going to ask me for my username, and not the username, it's also going to ask me for my password. Okay, so let us do that quickly. Then I'm going to open my GitHub in a new tab. So we want to create a token, right? Because you can see, even though I add my username, it's going to ask me for a password. But this password, if you type your password here, it's not going to work. It works before, but they scrapped that, I think, the year 2020, and they want us to use a token as a password. So to generate that token, all you need to do is to go to your profile, click on the drop down and go to settings. When you click on settings, you can see this is my profile. You scroll down to the bottom, you can see developer settings. So click on this, and at the bottom here you will see what? Personal tokens. Here you will see what? Personal tokens. Okay, so you want to click on that, and there is another sub drop down, which is token classic. Okay, you also want to click on that. Okay, now you can see I already have 2 tokens already. Okay, but you can create as many as possible. You can revoke all access, or you can just delete the token. So what I'll do is to click on this button here, this button that says create new token. Okay, so I'm going to click on that. Then okay, I'm just saying this now, which is the beta, but I'm going to use this one, which is for general use. Okay, so I want to type a note. So for the note, I'll just put example token. Take note of this is very important, right? So you want to set like the expiration date for this token. So for this token, it says what? 30 days. However, you can set no expiration date. So it means this token is not going to expire. Okay, so but let me just change this to 7 days, and you want to give it a scope. You want this token to access your repo and work. So it is important you give it a scope. Okay, so what I will do is to what? Access repo and access repo user. Basically, you can actually leave some of these because this is admin SSH and the rest. So I think this is okay. Access repo is okay, and user is okay. Okay, so what I will do is to click on generate token at the bottom. Okay, so you can see my new token has been generated successfully. So what you do is to copy this. You can see I just click on something here, right? You need to click this to copy the token. Okay, so I'm going to click on copy, and you want to keep it somewhere safe. So I'm going to keep it here. Okay, so this is what you'll be using as password for now. So I'm going to minimize this. It has been copied. So let's go back to our terminal. So I'm going to paste this. When you paste anything like password on the terminal, it's not going to show, but it is there. All you need to do after you've pasted it is to press what? Enter. So you can see my push is now successful. Okay, so let us go and check our cloud GitHub repository. So this was where we stop, and this was the last command I run, git push to origin master, not main. My own is master. So I'm going to refresh, and you can see this is the file I created. It's an empty file. So now our code has been moved to the cloud repository, and another thing I want you to note is what this is just one branch. Okay, so now let us go to what? Branching. So if you do the command git branch, you can see this is what the master branch. So I want to create another branch, right? So what I will do is to do like this, git checkout -b, then the name of the new branch. So this command means you want to create a new branch. Okay, so I will call my new branch new underscore branch. I'm going to press enter. So what this command does is it's going to create a new branch and switch to that new branch. So if you want to know the current branch now, git branch, you can see I have switched from master to what? New branch. And what this does is going to take a copy of the master branch to the new branch. So everything that exists in the master branch will be copied and moved toward the new branch. So for the new branch, right, I want to add a readme file. So I'm going to do that. Vi readme.md, I for insert, then example project. Okay, I for insert, sorry about that. Okay, I actually don't know what's wrong with my local terminal, so let me just exit. Okay, so if you check the content of the readme file, you can see this is what I've written there. So now if I do git status, so you can see that we now have what? A new file, which is the readme. So we need to use the command git add, right, to git add the name of the file. So if you do git add, then the name of the file, so it's going to add it to what? To the commit. However, you can also do git add period. So what this period mean is add everything to the commit. So I'm going to do this. So this command is important, right? If you have more than one file or many files, let's say for example you have like 50 files which you've worked on, and you don't want to be adding them one by one, like you want to add the name of the file, git add, sorry about that, git add readme.md, git add file 1, git add file 2, git add file 3, like that. That is going to be stressful. So but the git add period is going to add every file to the commit for you. So now if you check git status, you can see that the file is now green. Okay, so you can also restore it back to the way it is. So you can do git restore. You can see the command here, right? Git restore readme. Okay, so if you do git status now, okay, sorry, I missed something, right? So this should be git restore dash stage, then the name of the file. Okay, so do git status now. You can see the git repository, the local git repository, has returned back to its default state. So let us add it back. Git add this. I want to commit. Git commit -m. Then what did we do? So I'll say added readme file. Enter. So we now have our two branch. So if you do git branch, you can see we now have our two branch. Okay, so there are different ways to merge. Okay, so now you can merge locally and you can merge what in the cloud, but I will be focusing on merging locally. So what I will do, I want to check out to the new branch. Remember, if it is advisable before you check out to other branch, ensure you commit all work you've done here before you move to any other branch. You can see we've done that already. All the work has been committed, and I want to check out to the master branch. So I'm going to do git checkout master. So if you do git branch now, my current branch, you can see I have switched back to the master branch, and I want to merge the new branch. So what's the command to merge? The command to merge is git merge the new branch. So what this will do is going to add all the work we've done in the new branch to the master. Okay, so let me press enter. Okay, so the merge was successful, and you can see that here. So now we want to push to our cloud repository. To do that, okay, we need to check the git status first. So it says what? Your branch is ahead by one commit. Use git push to publish. So it's asking us to use what? Git push to publish our code. So all we need to do is to do git push. So it's asking me for my username. Enter. Then my password. So for the password, I'm going to use my token. Okay, and paste it. Enter. So that was successful. So let us refresh and see what we'll get here. You can see we now have what the readme.md file here. Okay, so now I want you to note something. We are still having what? One branch here. Let us go back to our local repository. So do git branch, know your current branch. We're in the master, so I want to check out to the new branch. Okay, so I am back in the new branch. How do you know that? You can see it's even written here, switched what to branch, new branch. And if I run the command git branch, you can see it's telling me what I am in the new branch. So let us create a new file. So touch example file. So if you do git status now, so you can see there's a new file. Now I want to add that file. Add git commit -m. Added a new file, example_file. So now we want to push to cloud. Remember, this is the branch we are, right? We're in the new branch. I want to push to cloud. So we don't want to push to the origin master. We want to push to we don't want to push the master branch, we want to push to what this new branch. So to push to this new branch, the command is git have I commit? Okay, yes. So is git push origin, then the name of the branch, which is what new branch. So if we run this command, it's going to ask us for our username again. So I'm going to enter my username, enter, and the token for password. Okay, there is a way to set your local so that it won't be asking you, it won't be prompting you to enter your password and username every time. We'll get to that. This is my local and I don't want to do that here because of the different tokens I already have. So the password, the token has been pasted here. I'm going to press enter. So the push is now successful. So let us refresh. So one thing I want you to know, you can see we now have what, two branch. See, if I click on the branch, you can see we have new branch and we also have what, the master. Okay, we have new branch and we have what, the master. So you can actually compare this and do all your merging and everything here, but it is advisable you do all of that in your local. Alright, so back to the project page. It is important you look at all the resources. It's very important. There's also Git sheet. There are lots of things you can do with Git, and if you look at this, it's going to be helpful, right? And also, do not limit yourself to the resources you get in here. You can also do a lot of research on your own. You want to expand your knowledge on Git, Google, make a lot of research, read it about Git, because you are going to be using Git in like 99% of this program. So that is all, guys, for this. I'm going to see you in the quiz section. Hello guys, welcome to the quiz section. I want to look at the question 0. So it says, what command can be used to see what changes have been staged, which haven't, and which file hasn't been tracked by Git? Alright, so I used that command and you can see this is it. Okay, so if you look at the next one, which is question 1, it says you have the following file in your Git repository. So you've edited 0-text and you want to add it to your Git repo. What is the correct command to add only 0-text? Of course, you know that this is it. Okay, so that is all for the quiz section, and let us move to the tags section. So for the tag section, what they want us to do is to create and set up your Git and GitHub account. We've done that in the project introduction. You can, if you have not created your account, I would suggest you start the video again so that you can watch it from the beginning and see how I was able to create an account, create token, and the rest. So I will just keep it down to, okay, create your first repository. Okay, I also created a repository. Okay, so what they want is what, to create a repository what with this name, which is als_0d. So let me go to my repository. Okay, so to create that repository with this name, als_0d, all you need to do is to go to your repository, click on repository, go to your profile, click on repository and click on new, this new button here. When you click on it, so it's asking you for repository name, so I'm going to type the name here, als_0. So for mine, you can see it says this repository alx-0_d already exists, so it cannot be created. So but for yours, it should be available. Then once you type in that name, you scroll down, you see, you click on this button here, you click on this button which is graded out in my home, you click on this button. Okay, so for mine, I will just go back and I want to search for that repository. You can see this is the repository. Okay, so mine has been created. Okay, so let's see the next requirement. Yes, so you say you should add a description. So before you create the repository, make sure you add what this description. Yeah, okay, you can see yes, you can see my description here. This is what my description. So the next thing I want you to do, they said no readme and no or license, nothing, just create it and move to the next step. Step 4 says open the sandbox. So to open your sandbox, all you need to do is to click on your terminal, which is this, your sandbox is, go to that section and open it in a new tab. Okay, so you go to your web terminal and let us see the next requirement. So it says what? Clone your repository. On a web terminal, do the following. Okay, so they want you to run this command, right? So all you need to do is to go to your Git repository. You see this place that you're actually writing code, right? This place here, this one with code. You need to click on it. Once you click on it, you can see this URL, right? There is a copy here. There's what? A copy here. So you need to copy this. Okay. So if you click on this, you can see it says copied. First of all, let us paste it on the browser. Note my username, right? So for yours, it's going to be your username. Okay. So that is what they are telling us on the project. So it says git clone. So you're going to run this command. You know, we've copied it already. So to clone your repository, here is my terminal, here is my sandbox. Okay, yes. So you're going to do git clone, then paste. Okay, so it might ask you for your password, username and token, which I'm not sure because it's public. But however, so if you press enter, then you should be able to see the folder, or you'll be able to see the repository, right? You can see ELX0D. You're going to see something like this folder which I am in now. Okay, so let us see the next step. Sorry, let me close some window. Close to the right, close to the right, close to the right. Okay, so the next step, okay, we've done this already. Yes, we are already in that folder. I just did that now. CD ELX. Okay, so it says create what? The readme file with the content, my first readme. So you can do the vi, the readme. Okay, so vi readme.md. Then you should write the content. So the content says my first readme. When you want to say, press escape :WQ. Then that is saved. Go back to the project. Okay. Yes, so you have to run this command, which is cat readme.md, to see what you have in the file. So you can do readme.md. You can see I have the result here, my first readme file. So for the next step, okay, you can see they are doing, okay, good, they want you to configure, this is important, right? So you need to configure your global identity. So git config, you should run this command. Okay, so git config --global, right? So like mine now, let me just use a fake email. So you need to replace it with your email like this. So you need to replace this fake email with your email. Okay, and press enter. I'm not going to do that because I've done it already. Then you want to also run the config global user. So your username, you need to change this to your username or your name. You can just put your name. My own name is Simon. You can just put it. Okay. So if that has been set, the next thing to do, let us see. You want to do your git add. Then I think its next command should be git commit -m. Let me see that. My first commit, you can see it here. Commit -m, my first commit. Then you do git push. Okay. So you do what? Git push. Okay, but since this is your first push, your direct push might not work. So you can do git push -u, or yes, git push -u origin master. So you're gonna do push and you're gonna see a result like this. Okay, let's see a result like this. So now if you're done with that, you come and click on your checker and check. If everything is green, it means if everything is green like this, like the way I'm checking now, so it means everything is what? Okay, you can see check 1, check 2, check 0, check 1, check 2, and it says congratulations, all test passes. Okay, so for the next one, repo section, right? So you see you should create a new directory called 0x03-git in your alx_0d. So what they want you to do, they want you to create a directory. So to create that directory, you can note the name, right? I want you to create that directory in here, right? So this is the command to create a directory. So I'm trying to create a directory and it says cannot create a directory because the file already exists. That is true. So if I do ls, you can see it already exists. So thereafter it says make sure you commit and push your code to GitHub, otherwise checker will always fail. So git add followed by git commit -m, added a new directory, press enter, then do your git push. So when you do git push, after you've done git push, you should come here and click on your checker, click on start new test. Once everything is green, you see this done will be highlighted as kind of light green color. That's when you know everything is good. So next thing, you go to the next one. So I think I've covered like some of the major example. I will allow you to do this yourself. So look at what it says you should do here. It says for this moment we have an empty project directory containing only readme, a time to code. Create this directory at the root of your project, which is the bash, C, and JS. So they said you should create what? A directory, right? So to create a directory, you know the command to create a directory, right? So they want you to create a directory which is bash. That is the first directory. The next one is C, like this. Press enter, create that directory, and JS, enter, press that directory. So when you check, those directories should be available. Yes, it's currently available because you're going to move them as you are working. So they say you should go ahead and create this empty file so you can see. And to create this empty file, what you need to do is to create them in specific folder. Okay, so if you look at this, you can see this one here, right, is created in the C folder. This JS main.js is created in what, the JS folder, and js.index is also in what, the JS folder. So you can see it also says create a file bash.elx with 2 lines inside this folder. Okay, so basically you need to follow these steps, and if you get lost, you can actually check my GitHub repository. So that is all. Make sure you complete your tasks 200% if you want, and I'll see you in another video. Thank you very much for watching. We'll meet again.